And a neighbor boy that lived right behind us came out and said, the Japs have attacked Pearl Harbor. And I said, where's that? And he said, well, I don't know. Dad's on the radio and he's trying to find out. His dad was a ham radio operator. I went on home and told my folks, you need to turn on the radio, something's happened. And so we sat and listened, and it was about the same thing over and over the whole evening. And the thing that really got to me was when they told all military personnel return to your posts immediately. The next morning, we went to school on Monday morning, and our superintendent had brought his big console radio and set it on the stage at the auditorium and had all the students come in. And he turned on the radio and we listened to President Roosevelt's speech in which he said, a day that will live in infamy. And as the speech was over, we got up to go to our classes, and I'd been in the front of the auditorium, so I was one of the last ones out, and the superintendent fell in behind me, and he had been a World War I veteran. And he said, after this day, your life will never be the same. And how true it was. When I went in, I weighed 117 pounds. I was 5'10". And it was a whole new world for me. I was in the radio operator training unit. All of us were trained to be radio operators. We landed in Scotland, we got on a train and we went overnight for a whole day and night down to Southampton, got on an LST and crossed the English Channel and landed at Le Havre. We loaded on trucks after that and went to Fontainebleau, France. And that was quite an impressive thing because we stayed out where the castle is, north and east of Paris, and we didn't get to go in the castle or anything, but we did get to stay in the stables. And we were trucked out of that and took 2 days to get to a little town in France called AY. That's how it's spelled, AY. And that's where I met my unit, and I was placed in the headquarters of the 73rd Armored Field Artillery Battalion of the 9th Armored Division, which at that time was part of the 3rd Army Division, 3rd Army, which was commanded by General Patton.
Right.
We got equipment and everything. The 9th Armored was in the Battle of the Bulge and they got decimated. They had a large percentage that were either killed, wounded, or captured. And there were only a few left, but that formed the core for us and the rest of it. They were expecting replacements, but they weren't expecting 18-year-old kids to be in there.
Where are we in the war at that point? I mean, it's got to be, are you into 45 yet, or?
Oh yeah, see, I didn't go over till January the 1st of 45.
So this is almost at the end of that. I mean, we're
almost the end of the war, yes.
Where were you when that happened? How did that unfold for you?
Where was I, what?
When the war ended, how did that unfold?
Well, there's more to the story, really, because we were still going east. We were moving east every day and going east. And we thought we were going to take Berlin. And we got to southeast of Leipzig, and they said, no, they've made a deal, the Russians are going to take it. And then they pulled us back and sent us down towards Czechoslovakia. And we were in transport towards Czechoslovakia when the war actually ended. Let me tell you about when I came home.
Okay.
My folks' house is a block and a half from the center of town. And that's where the bus stop was. And I got off the bus and I started down the sidewalk towards home, and I look up and my mother's standing out on the sidewalk waiting on me. And I get there and I say, "How did you know I was coming?" And she said, "Mothers just know things." And I looked over at the house and there's 2 flags hanging in the window. One of them has a silver star for me being overseas, and the other one has the gold star for my brother.